About to go live stuff. Hopefully. Can you let me know if we're live? No, we're live. Good evening, folks. We're going to give it just a few more minutes to get everybody logged in here, and then we'll rock and roll. Here. I mean, guys, we're gonna give it just a few more minutes, get some more people some time to log on here. We got 18 people watching live. We appreciate that.
Good number.
Yeah. Guys, I think we'll get ready to rock and roll here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name's us, I should say. My name's Brian Gaudet. I'm the fire chief with the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. I will let you introduce yourself, Jason.
Hi guys, Jason Darian, Deputy Chief, Hillsboro Fire Protection District.
And in the background, handling our IT stuff is our wonderful Stephanie Jackson. She's looking for your questions and shooting them to us via chat. So if you have any, go ahead and start typing some questions in there and getting everything rolling. We're here today to discuss our 50-cent tax increase that we have on the ballot tomorrow. Is the big day, big election day tomorrow. Sorry guys, I'm having some crazy computer stuff over here. Hold on one second. Okay. So tomorrow, April 6th, is election day. We wanted to give you guys an opportunity this evening to ask any more questions, any last minute thoughts that you may have, and hopefully you guys can come out tomorrow and be educated voters. So we appreciate each and every one of you for joining us tonight. So we're going to start with going over the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. First off, we are a fire protection district. We have no affiliation with the city of Hillsboro at all. That is a big question that has been asked out there, and we'll try to kind of clarify that. We are covered under a different portion of the state laws. We're organized differently than a city. We don't report to them. They don't report to us. We have different funding sources. We obviously work well together and run calls together with the Hillsboro Police Department, work with the city whenever needed, but two total different agencies for sure. So they have something on the ballot, I believe, coming up as well too. I know very little about that, so that does not affect us. Our ballot does not affect them either. Jason, want to talk about our square mileage, how much we cover, all that good stuff?
So guys, we cover 44 square miles of Central Jefferson County. That 44 square miles is our primary responsibility, but we do assist other outside agencies as well. So our coverage area increases quite a bit. I believe last time we checked, our population in the Hillsboro Fire District was sitting around the 17,000 mark. And not only do we run fires, as it says, but we run fires, EMS, vehicle accidents, we do water rescues, basically anything you can think of that the police don't handle, we handle. So we also do public relations events, we teach CPR, quite a bit of different things that a lot of you don't know we do.
Yeah, and remember too, we're in the schools with your kids, grade K through first, second, we're in there with all the kids. We're talking to all the kids. We're educating all the kids, and we're providing fire safety education to them as well. We currently have a full-time staff of 15 personnel. If you remember here recently, we released a press release back in September. We did receive a federal grant to hire 6 full-time firefighters, which got our Station 2 manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Our Station 2 is out B Highway, covers kind of the west side of our district, coverage area for Braintree, for C Highway, Reynolds Creek, Butcher Branch, all out that area. So wonderful benefit to the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. We were able to hire 6 great full-time employees and provide coverage to that station 24/7, 365 days a year. So we've got 4 guys on 24/7 total between both engine houses. Jason, myself, and Stephanie. We work Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. So we're getting up there in staffing, which is desperately needed. Last year we ran 1,022 calls, I believe. And just to give you kind of an idea of how busy of a department we have come since April 1st, and this has been a little bit of an extraordinary month so far. Since April 1st, we have run 30 calls already for the month. So we have quite a busy first 5 days of April. That second station being manned definitely helped us ensure that you guys always had a truck on duty 24 hours a day, and you weren't ever without coverage. So that's definitely a good thing for sure. If you want more information about our district, you can always log on to www.hillsborofire.org. Our website's packed full of all the information about the size of our district, how many staff members we have, pictures of our trucks, our engine houses, and everything that you could want to know about the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. I want to share something with you real fast here as well too. Hold up. Trying to get a map of our district up here so you guys can see our coverage area. I know that's always a question that people have. See a map of our district up there on the screen right now. The area shaded in blue is the city limits of Hillsboro. So that's 3.8 square miles, a very small area that we cover. You see, we cover a much larger area than just the city of Hillsboro. If you have any questions about this, you can always call us. Check out the assessor's website. They have a great website that will show the fire district boundaries and everything that you need to know about the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. So we are going to the voters tomorrow, back there, to ask for a 50-cent tax increase. We have one main goal with this tax increase. We want to ensure that staffing to provide you adequate fire services maintained at our Station 3. We talked about that grant a little while ago. It runs out after 3 years. That grant total was a little bit over $1 million for that 3-year period, but we want to ensure that we can maintain that staffing level from here on out. So that 50 cents tax increase will help excuse me, to maintain that moving forward. Our secondary goal with this tax increase, aside from the main goal, is to create a financial stream to build a new firehouse. We are completely out of space. Our firehouse is small. There's some major maintenance issues with this firehouse. This tax increase will help provide the cost for that moving forward. Let's talk about our history of tax increases here at the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. I'm going to share some more screen stuff here. Okay, here's our history of tax increases over the years. Now you can see the district was founded as a taxing district in 1973. First tax rate set at 30 cents on $100 of assessed valuation in 1974. Next tax increase that the fire district had was in 1991, 15-cent tax increase. So the tax rate went from 19 cents at that point in time up to 34 cents. I'll point out at some point back in the 80s, there's some change in the way that the assessments were handled, so they kind of rolled that tax rate back, but we didn't lose any revenue that I'm aware of at that point in time. 2001 was the last time that we received a property tax or real estate tax increase, and that was a 25-cent tax increase to where we went from 36 cents on $100 of assessed valuation up to 66 cents on $100 of assessed valuation. Did I say 30 cents there?
Yeah,
okay, you said 30 cents there, sorry. And then, yes, it is true, we received a sales tax in 2015 as well, about 6 years ago. That sales tax went to help fund an additional full-time firefighter out at Station 2 and to create a stream of funding for capital purchases and equipment replacement and all that good stuff. So We've held true to every promise that we've made with every tax increase. We will continue to do so. Wanted to show you where we stack up with other fire districts as well too, as far as tax rates across the St. Louis metropolitan area. This next chart shows our tax rates from Jefferson County, St. Louis County,
St. Charles,
County,
Franklin,
County,
Washington, and St. Francis.
Washington County, and St. Francis County. Some of your higher tax rate fire districts obviously are up in St. Louis County. You can see Metro North Fire, they're at $2.96 per $100 of assessed valuation. They are the highest tax rate in those counties that we mentioned. If you go, I'm sorry, this is after. There we go. If you go all the way down to number 44, that's where we are. We're 44 out of 59 fire districts for the lowest tax rate at 52 cents on $100 of assessed valuation. So we are very low. There are multiple other fire districts across the area that have a much higher tax rate than we do. All of this information is available on www.firesafecommunityprop247. We've got a website for this. We'll get a link up to you guys in the comments here so you can go check all this information out. But this is all public knowledge and completely available to you guys if you want to reference it and take a look at it. Lots of people ask, well, where will this leave you? 50 cents tax increase. We'll bring our tax rate up to about $1.02. Number 29 out of those 59 districts, so middle of the pack again for everybody. We will not be high at all. We will be middle of the pack. You can take a look at this. This is all on Prop 24/7 website as well.
Currently, out of any fire district inside Jefferson County that has full-time firefighters, we are the lowest.
We are the lowest out of any fire district in Jefferson County right now. So we definitely have a low tax rate and a little bit behind on funding from everybody else. So Jason, you want to discuss on why we have to expand our services and the fact of how long you have to escape a house fire and all that good stuff?
Sure. So guys, 25 years ago, they say we had 17 minutes to get out of a house fire. Now it's down to 3 or 4. Okay. The houses are built different. It's called lightweight construction. We don't have that time anymore. So the quicker we can get there, the better it is for you, your family, your home, everything. When it comes to medical calls, the brain can live without oxygen for a little over 4 minutes. Well, if it takes us 6 minutes to get there, that's kind of a problem. So we definitely need both these engine houses open all the time. We need to ensure funding for that to keep that going. We're here to save lives. Anything we can do to help you guys, the citizens of Hillsboro, need it. They really do. They deserve the best services we can provide, and we've been doing that with what we have, but we want to do even more. So let's see some of the other stuff about it.
Well, I can tell you too, we've done an initial analysis. It's been a little over 6 weeks now that our Station 2 has been manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with 2 guys out there. We've effectively cut our response down to that area by, in some areas, 6 to 10 minutes. So we've effectively cut that response time down. We're still trying to analyze the data. It's pretty early on, but there's been a marketable decrease in our response times out to that area. So we're already showing that it's working, and it's a great benefit to the community for sure. And as Jason said, time is of the essence in our business. We are not a business that can go slow, take time to analyze things. We have to make split-second decisions. The more manpower we have, the more help that we have, the better chance you guys have of survival. Unfortunately, there's what's called NFPA, which is a company that produces standards for fire service, and it's standards that we unfortunately will never be able to meet. But they require us to have, I shouldn't say require, they want us to have 17 people on the scene of a working house fire within 10 minutes to effectively handle that structure fire. There's no way we'll ever get to that point, but having an additional 2 guys on duty 24 hours a day is a step in that right direction. We still have a great staff of volunteers as well too that supplement the paid staff. So those numbers do increase with those guys being on here on our staff. So that will greatly help out to move it.
You got to remember the volunteers, they got to come from home. They come to the firehouse, get a truck, and then go to the call.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, it's time.
It definitely adds time to everything. And again, guys, we're not big government. We're not here to try to take the money. We've been very responsible with the money that we have now. This tax increase is all about growing your schools, your fire, your EMS, your police. It's what makes us not a third world country. In the city of Hillsboro, the community of Hillsboro has grown exponentially over the past 15 years. 15 years ago, we didn't have Eagles Ridge and Hawks Point and all these subdivisions here in town. Our population has doubled and tripled in some areas of the city. So we definitely need this tax increase to help us grow with the times.
We've doubled our call count in the last 10 years.
Yeah, we really have. Okay, so now let's get on to the question that's burning in everybody's mind. How much is this going to cost me? So my next chart here. On a Fire Safe Community Prop 24/7 website, which we'll get a link up to. We have a great calculator up there as well too that'll tell you exactly how your this will affect your taxes. One thing that I got to stress to everybody: market value and assessed value are two greatly different things. Just because your Zillow says your house is worth $250,000 doesn't mean that that's what you're going to pay taxes on. You have to actually go to the assessor's website, see what your assessed valuation is, and you're taxed on 19% of that assessed valuation. You're not taxed on the full amount of your house. You're not taxed at market value. You are taxed at a mass assessed valuation that the county assessor's office goes through on an annual or a biannual basis. One thing to point out as well too, and a lot of people, we hear this, well, my assessed valuation went up, you get a tax windfall from that. No, we don't. There's a little thing in the state constitution called the Hancock Amendment that does not allow our budget to grow by any more than the CPI. So if the CPI this year, I believe, is 1.2%, something along the lines of that. Anytime our budget grows greater than that 1.2%, we have to roll our tax rate back. So this year, our tax rate before our sales tax roll back, and I know this stuff's a little confusing, was at 6.247. So we're already almost 4 cents, maybe closer to 5 cents off of what the voters approved for us because we've had to roll back our taxes in order to comply with the Hancock Amendment. So we're going to use this example here up on the screen now too. An appraised value house, and again, this is the assessor's appraisal, not Zillow, not Redfin, not any of those other sites, at $134,000 brings your assessed valuation to $25,460 as to what you pay your taxes on. Currently, our tax rate is 5,217 per $100 of assessed valuation. With your house, you currently pay $132.82 to the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. Right below that, if it goes up to $1.02, you would pay the Hillsboro Fire Protection District $259.69 on an annual basis. How does that break down annually? You can see that before the tax increase right now, $132.82 annually, $11.07 per month, or 36 cents per day for fire protection. And after the increase annually, it would be $259.69 per month, $21.64 per day, 71 cents. And the difference is $126.87, $10.57, and 35 cents per day. You should be actually able to go on our website, Fire Safe Community Prop 24/7, find your house's appraised value, and punch in all these numbers and get exactly what you're going to pay for taxes. So it's a pretty good deal. If you have any questions about what this is going to cost you, you can call us tomorrow if you want to know personally. I'll help you look up your house and we'll get this addressed for you and taken care of as well. Jason, want to discuss ISO and how this could potentially affect this?
So ISO, the Insurance Service Organization, basically ranks fire districts on a scale of 1 through 10, 1 being the best and 10 being the worst. Currently, the Hillsboro Fire District sits at a ISO of 5. Basically, every number that we go down, say we go down to an ISO of 4, depending on your insurance company, could be a significant savings to you on your homeowner's insurance every year. We're not guaranteeing that your ISO is going to go down, but there's a really good shot with the extra work that we put into it, and there's a possibility it could happen. So in the long run, we could actually be saving you more money than what you're paying us. And that's what we're really pushing towards, getting our ISO down a little bit more also.
And at the end of the day, too, the Fire Protection District is one of the only government entities that basically pays you. And I mean by paying you, if you own a home in the Hillsboro Fire Protection District, and you're at a class 5, due to the fact that you have a recognized fire district, your rates are typically 3 times lower than somebody that does not have a firehouse within 5 miles of the Hillsboro fire or any fire department out there. So in theory, fire protection costs you virtually nothing on an annual basis due to the amount of money that you save with your homeowner's insurance. Again, an ISO decrease is not a guarantee, but it's definitely something that we would fight for and ensure that we're doing everything in our powers to get that done. So what will you get, or what are you guaranteed if this tax increase passes? You are guaranteed that the 4 people that are on duty right now, 24/7, 365 days a year, their jobs will be permanent. Remember that grant we talked about a little while ago expires after 3 years. Those people would effectively lose their jobs after 3 years if there's not a sustainable funding source moving forward. They knew the risk getting into that job, but we would like to ensure that those positions maintain and continue on for the forever.
And you guys do want those extra 6 guys to be here, trust me.
Absolutely, they're great guys. They're great community members as well too. So it's huge for the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. If this passes as well too, along with careful financial planning, we could see a new firehouse for the community. And what do we mean by that for the community? A fire protection, a firehouse is not just ours. We want to ensure that you guys have it available for use. We want to ensure that our new firehouse will provide a meeting room for you guys to use, for civic organizations, and for other gatherings. If you wanted to have a meeting of some sort, that room would be available to you. Better classroom facilities for providing our citizens with invaluable education, CPR, first aid, safe sitter programs, and anything else that we can offer you guys. We want to have good facilities for that. Right now, our facilities are so small and cramped, it's not a very good educational atmosphere. So that will definitely help out moving forward. The new firehouse may allow for a space specifically designed for sheltering during a severe storm. And we want to ensure that there's a safe room in there for our citizens that don't have somewhere to shelter. If they know a severe storm's getting ready to bear down on the area, they can jet in real fast and hopefully have a place to protect themselves. We have a large enough area and facility that could be used as an emergency response personnel for emergency response personnel during a disaster. We want to have a place where we can coordinate everything for the community and ensure that we're on the road to recovery. And we also want to have a good facility we can use for warming shelters and cooling shelters during the hot times of the month. So, and again, a new firehouse again will help us be able to have the equipment and store the equipment to help lower your ISO ratings moving forward.
It's guys are building right now. It's old. It's cramped. We've put as many additions on this building as we can put on them, and there's still not enough room. We're storing things in places you shouldn't store things. There's no more room left. We have done heating and cooling stations for a little while now, but our occupancy load is so small, we can only get a few people in here at a time and still do what we have to do day to day. A new building will greatly benefit the citizens.
Okay, that's kind of our presentation at this point in time. I'm going to go through some great questions that have been asked of us so far to this point. And we want you guys to ask questions. So if you have any, please chime in, log in, and get those questions out there to us. Stephanie is in the background waiting for your questions. But we're going to hit a couple of questions here that are some hard ones that I like. So first question, why would you take a grant to hire 6 firefighters that is not sustainable? To me, that's a pretty answer to that question, a pretty easy answer to that question. If at some point in that 3-year period, those 6 firefighters were able to save somebody's life, that grant was worth it. If they were able to save somebody's property, that grant was worth it. And guess what? They already have. Yep. They've already been out saving lives and saving people's property. So that grant was worth it. There is no way that I could look in the eyes of you guys and say, well, maybe we could have saved you, but I didn't have 6 people out there at Station 2 on duty. So it was kind of a no-brainer to us. So we did it. We don't regret it. We stand by that decision, and it has benefited you guys already, and we're proud of that grant as well. To get free money in the tune of over $1 million is a huge accomplishment. Next question we have, if you can afford a brand new fire truck and other equipment, why can't you afford to hire 6 firefighters? Great questions. You have noticed we have bought new fire trucks and have new equipment here at the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. We take a portion of our annual operating budget and set it aside every year for capital purchase replacements. It's very equivalent to you guys get a portion of your paycheck and maybe set it aside for an emergency fund, or maybe you want to pay cash for a new car and you set aside 10% of your check every month to save up for that. We have to do the same thing for capital purchases. Unfortunately, our fire trucks cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 to $600,000 to even higher. So the entirety of our fleet, to replace our entire fleet, costs anywhere around $3 to $3.5 million on a revolving basis. So we have to ensure that we're setting aside enough money every year to replace our equipment. So it's just good savings. It's good financial planning on the district's part. So it's helped out greatly. So that's why we have new equipment. We can't afford to hire those 6 firefighters. And that money that we set aside, once we spent it, it's gone. It's not a stable funding source like this tax increase would be. How much money would this tax increase generate annually for the Hillsboro Fire Protection District? This would generate somewhere around $600,000 extra dollars for the Hillsboro Fire Protection District. The new people that we currently hired cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $350,000 to $400,000 to hire 6 full-time firefighters. That includes their salary, benefits, and all that stuff that goes along with it. And again, with the remaining balance of that going into paying for a new firehouse, which it'll take some time to save money to do that, but we fully intend on keeping our promise with that if we get this tax increase. And again, we kind of touched on this a few years ago. The paper reported a huge increase in assessed valuations across Jefferson County. Don't you have a windfall tax dollars when you reassess? And again, the answer to that question is no, we don't. We have to roll that money back because our budget is only allowed to grow by whatever the CPI is. 1.2% was this last year's CPI, I believe. Once you replace the firehouse, what will the extra money be spent on that you use for the firehouse? We hope to hire more people with that eventually down the road and further increase our full-time staffing once we have paid for that firehouse. How long will this tax increase last in the Hillsboro Fire Protection District? I intend this tax increase to last well past the rest of my career here at the Hillsboro Fire Protection District into the next generation of firefighters. So it will last a long time, and we will not be back to you guys asking for more money unless something god awful happened, which we don't anticipate or see anything like that happening. Another question that was asked is, why did you not go for a tax increase, a smaller tax increase to hire the firefighters in a bond issue to go for the new firehouse? It's a good question. Unfortunately, a bond issue takes 4/7 to pass. Once a bond issue is spent and all that money is paid back, that money is gone. So having a 50-cent tax increase will allow us to hire those firefighters, keep them on staff full-time, and then also build that firehouse and have money basically left over to roll back into operations after that. Whereas that debt service or that bond issue would just go away. So it's intended to, again, last a lot longer so we don't have to come back to the taxpayers in the future. What else do you have to add?
Well, it's a little, so basically like your guys' employers. If your employer needs to generate more money, well, what do? They raise the cost of your product, whether it be a restaurant or a convenience store or any other place you work, a factory that makes metal sheeting, whatever. If your costs go up, the employer raises the price. Well,
We can't do that.
we can't do that. We have to ask you. And for 20 years, we've kept the price as reasonable as we could. And now we have to come to you to ask for an increase. Basically, we need an increase to fund what we need to do to help you. Big difference between them and us. We have to ask. Don't want to, but we have to.
Yeah, it's never an easy decision to come and ask you guys for money. It really isn't. But it's definitely the right thing to do. We need to grow along with the community, and we would really appreciate everyone's support. So again, there's no questions at this point in time yet that I see regarding the tax increase. Messaging Stephanie back and forth here. We don't see anything. Again, the election is tomorrow. We ask get out and vote. And if you have any questions between now and then, please reach out to us, give us a call, swing by the firehouse. We'll answer any questions that you guys may have.
And you guys, we're very vested
Yeah.
in this fire district. I'd say at least 90% of your full-time firefighters live here. We're gonna be paying the tax also.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Me and Jason are both residents of the Hillsboro Fire Protection District stuff. Me and a whole bunch of our staff are as well too. So it's not like we're asking for money and it's not gonna, affect us or cost us. We're in this all together. I truly believe in this community, love this community, and we appreciate everything you guys have done to support us over the years. We really, truly do. Okay, we got a question. Will we receive any funds from the tax increase the city is requesting? No, I am not familiar with exactly what the city of Hillsboro is requesting at all. It's something to do with a business, a merchant license or something along the lines of that. Not even sure how it's going to work. We receive absolutely nothing from the city of Hillsboro. Two separate entities, two separate governing bodies. We will not receive anything from that at all. We're gonna give it just a few more seconds here and see if anybody else has anything to add in.
remember, the polls are open tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Kind of a little lag here, so we're giving it just a few seconds. Okay, guys, not seeing anything. We hope you guys enjoyed this lovely evening. Please, again, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Leave in the comments. We'll try to monitor the questions overnight if anything pops. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Good night.